3. We're going to spend about 20 minutes talking to you about the programme that we're funded to offer. We've described it, or the funding has enabled us, or suggested we describe it, the Foundational Economy Innovation Network. It's an innovation programme that will support you as organisations in Wales to develop your innovation knowledge and skills. Foundational economy is probably not the best known term. Welsh Government have been using the term for a few years. In other parts of the UK, particularly in Preston, where they have very successfully implemented what we call foundational economy, what they call in Preston and Lancashire community wealth building, and in other parts of the UK, it's often termed community wealth building, which tells you a little bit about what the foundational economy is about. And in essence, it's about supporting organisations, that be businesses, third sector organisations within a region, in this case, the region being Wales, to deliver more products and services within the region. So the way that they, in Preston, helped develop the community wealth building model was by supporting businesses to better engage and then supply into large organisations in the region. A good example of that is for the health boards in or the main hospital in Preston. They went from procuring around a third of their goods and services from outside of the region. Within a 5-year period, adopting the principles of community wealth building, they went to only procuring or buying in goods and services a third of their goods and services. So they flipped completely from buying in 2/3 of goods and services from outside the region to only buying a third. And the majority of that switch was by engaging with SMEs within the region. So hopefully that short description of foundational economy is helpful. We've called it the Foundational Economy Network because we will support those businesses and individuals that participate in the programme to develop their innovation skills in order to develop clean growth plans and hopefully engage with, understand a lot more about public service procurement, and hopefully as well deliver their goods, your goods and services to both NHS, local authorities and Welsh Government in Wales. So the term anchor institution is used by community wealth building and foundational economy, which basically means a large organisation that buys in lots of goods and services within a region. So that could and is ordinarily health boards, local government, regional government, but also it can be large organisations like, for argument's sake, in Wales, Tata Steel, public service organisations like, or third sector like charities, like universities, and other large organisations, for example in Cardiff, the likes of Admiral Insurance. So hopefully that gives you a short description of foundational economy and the reason for using the term. But in essence, the funding is there to support us to develop the innovation, knowledge and skills of businesses within Wales. Particularly, it's, as you saw on the front page there, Cardiff Met will deliver the programme in the Cardiff capital region or the southeast, and Swansea in the southwest. I've put up the agenda there for what I'm going to cover. More than happy to stop at any time if people want to ask questions. By all means, type them into the chat if you'd rather save them up till later. Or I'm happy for people to dive in as we go through. We'd like this session to be as interactive as possible. So yeah, please do put your hand up in the chat or type into the chat or just shout out. And if you are typing in the chat, I'll ask Rhys or Lane to pick that up, and we can ensure that we cover everyone's questions, comments, thoughts. Okay, so I've provided a little bit of context. I'm going to touch shortly on what the term circular economy means. Hopefully I've explained or at least given an outline of foundation economy in Wales, and that's what we're looking to support, which is basically the businesses that currently operate in Wales. Tell you a little bit about the innovation program that we have designed, that we would like you guys that are on the call to join, and then point out the impact that we've had with the current program, which is an innovation program, the Circular Economy Innovation Communities program, and then there's opportunity for you to talk to us or ask any questions, share any thoughts you've got, etc. Any questions people would like to ask before I sort of move on? Okay, so in order to explain the term circular economy and why it's needed, I think we probably don't need to remind everyone on the call the record temperatures we've had this summer. I think we're about to have a record set of temperatures for September. I'm looking out the window, it's gone a bit dull at the moment, but it's been incredibly hot. The wildfires we've had here, the record temperatures across Europe, the floods, etc., etc. I mean, that's because, as you all know, we're burning way too much fossil fuel and we're consuming way too many resources. The way to solve that problem is to move to a circular economy where we keep goods and services, so particularly goods, in use and in circulation, hence circular, as long as possible. The fewer new resources we take from the ground, the fewer energy or the less energy is then used to produce goods, and so we'll not only reduce goods by burning less fossil fuel, but reduce energy consumption by keeping goods, particularly materials, in circulation for as long as possible. As most of you will know, the Welsh Government declared a climate emergency in 2019, and in 2021 published their strategy for Wales, named Beyond Recycling. And the money that we've got to support you guys to develop your innovation knowledge and skills comes from the Welsh Government Innovation Fund. And as you know, one of the key aims of Welsh Government is to support the transition to a circular economy. So that's the context, very briefly. I don't think anyone is denying the need to move to a circular economy longer. In fact, there are numbers now talking that, and actually producing the data to demonstrate that unless we move to a circular economy very quickly, then we're not really going to be around or able to live on the planet for too many more generations. So an outline of the program, similar to the program that we've run, the CAPE program, the Circular Economy Innovation Communities. So as you can see along the top there, it's primarily about developing your innovation knowledge and skills. And we do that through practical application of tried and tested models, innovation models. And we take you through the process of developing those innovation knowledge and skills by supporting you to develop what we are calling a clean growth plan, which is basically a plan to grow your organization, whether that's in a way that you'd like to, whether that's through more people, through more turnover, or growing profit, or growing customers that you think have a better longevity for the business. And so we'll support you to develop that clean growth plan by taking you through this process that runs through the middle. So it's a 6-day program, starting with a foundation day where we introduce you to the fine detail of the program and how it will work. We then have a 2-day residential, and we've got the dates for that. That's the 2nd and 3rd week of November. I think we're starting 7th and 8th of November in Cardiff, the Cardiff region, and then I think 15th and 16th in Swansea, so the week after. So we've got dates for that 2-day residential workshop, which will kick us off in earnest and get those that are part of the program to understand each other, understand each other's products, their services, and what you're trying to achieve. We'll then take you through the design thinking process, which is basically probably the most tried and tested innovation model being used across many industries. So that incorporates, these are all 1 month apart, these workshops. So we'll start in November and have the foundation day in October. And then a month after that, we'll have the define workshop, which helps you fully articulate the challenge and challenges that you want to look at, and where you're going to focus your sort of energy in terms of the innovation. We will then ask you to come back to the next workshop, the ideation workshop, with those plans drafted so that you understand them, that the organisations have an opportunity, people, colleagues in the organisation have had an opportunity to look at them, to think about them, to contribute, to refine them. The ideation workshop will be about developing new ideas, how you might solve some of the problems that you've articulated through defining the challenge and the problem you want to look at. So that's what the ideation workshop is about. We will then ask you to come back a month later with those ideas more fully formed, again through consultation with colleagues and contacts, in order for you to develop a prototype in that workshop 5. Again, it's about engaging with colleagues and contacts to get feedback on that prototype before you start to think about developing a detailed clean growth plan that you can test with colleagues and contacts. Okay, so that's what the program looks like. We have access and we'll be working closely with the likes of RAP Cymru, Welsh Government Flexible Innovation Support Team, funders in UKRI, the Cardiff Capital Region Fund. So we very much hope and relatively confident that we'll be able to point you to further resources, support if you need to make your plan a reality. So it's very much about us supporting you to develop a robust plan in terms of either new products or services or directions you want the business organisation to go in during the programme, and then introducing you to the various funders and what they can offer during that last couple of workshops. And obviously we'll bring you together both East and West in an impact event, as we will call it, or we're calling it here, so that you can present to each other on what you're doing, what you're planning to do. So not only you'll be able to reflect on your planned journey, your innovation plans, but also share those with others and see where there's synergy, see where there's opportunities to collaborate, and see where there's opportunities maybe to supply or support each other. As it suggests, that's over 6 months. So the other thing you're probably wondering, I hope, is what a COP might be, as you can see down the bottom here, and wondering why there's an ellipse here. So we form the program into a community of practice. What that basically means is that it's not a traditional course where we'll bring you into the university and ask you to sit down and listen to us. No, the residential is all about activities and exercises that you will work on in groups. So firstly, you get to know each other. But secondly, and more importantly, we teach the program through these experiential exercises. So it's not about us telling you this is a great way to approach ideation, or this is a great way to understand complexity. We'll take you through a process. You'll work with others in teams to solve some of the problems or challenges we give you, and then we'll help you discuss what you've learned from that and how you can apply it in the business. So during those 2 days, the residential. So it's one of the pictures there is showing Coed y Muster, and I think we're using Coed y Muster and Bridgend. So you'll along for the first day, stay over that night, which is not compulsory, but often helps develop strong relationships. And the second day, again, similar exercises will help you understand the fundamentals of innovation dynamics, as we call them. Any questions that anybody wants to shout out, or anything in the chat? Okay, I'll take that as a no for the minute and move on. So, in summary, I'm working with the partners. What we're looking to do, what we will deliver for you, is we'll enhance your innovation knowledge and skills. We'll help you better understand how to tender for public goods and services and contracts. We'll help you understand certain practices that public service organisations are now seeing value in and starting to build into their tender processes, like the living wage, and businesses that have got clean growth plans and understand their carbon footprint. Help you understand the opportunities that a circular economy offered, both in terms of products and services, but also in terms of maybe changing or looking at your business model. And we will form you into a group that can and could collaborate with each other, but also introduce you to the wider CEIC, or Circular Economy Innovation Communities Innovation Ecosystem, which we've had 80 organisations from across Wales, South Wales, with 190 people take part in over the last couple of years. So we can introduce you to those organisations and people, and you can see where other innovation activities going on that you might be able to work with or potentially contract to. We've also got partners in terms of CELSA, who are, in my view, leading a circular transformation in terms of their business. And we'll have Tony Parton from the South Wales Industrial Cluster talk to you about what their work is in reducing energy consumption of the larger organisations from across Wales. So I'm going to show you a video now from somebody that took part. Faye took part in the last cohort, and then open the floor for questions.
Hi, I'm Faye Ward. I'm Wastewater Research and Innovation Manager at Welsh Water. The reason why I decided to join the CEIC group was because as part of my role in innovation, circular economy is really important. It's something that we strive to achieve in Welsh Water moving forward. The group that I was part of was the water quality cohort, and we were looking at developing water quality monitoring for various stakeholders across Wales. We all know that water is really, really important to everybody. We can't survive without it. So we need to monitor it and make sure that it's safe and regenerated for the generations to come. Our biggest achievement so far has been the relationships, I think, that we've built up together. So it's really good to have those key contacts within those groups that have similar challenges to us. We've also worked quite closely with Cardiff University to develop a passive sensor, which is low cost. And we have implemented a test site where we're trialling this sensor to understand water quality and how that could work for us moving forward. So actually having a sort of a pilot out in the environment has been a really good achievement, I think, from the group. The benefits of working in a community of practice have been that we understand other people's ways of working. We understand that other people are doing very similar things to everybody else, but we kind of perhaps are working in silos. So it's good to kind of cross-pollinate and understand what other people are doing and how we can work together to achieve future benefit for the generations to come. So a few of the things that I've implemented in my organisation from being on this course include the Resolve framework. So we've looked at different case studies that may be of interest into the business and shared those through knowledge sharing platforms or lunch and learns. I've also used the brainstorming technique in a workshop to be able to look at potential smart network ideas. I just really enjoyed being part of the cohort and meeting like-minded people and feeling the passion that everybody has to achieve something like a circular economy. Even though circular economy is very difficult to define in one instance, it's clear that people understand how it works in their situation and how we can work together to achieve a circular economy in the future.
Okay, we do have quant data as well. In other words, we've got surveys that we've had feedback from the participants that have worked with us and taken part in the programme. Some of those are up there. Participants have obviously said that that's enhanced their innovation knowledge and skills. Their understanding, and what Faye has pointed out there, their understanding of circular economy for their business. So Faye understands it in the context of Welsh Water and what they can do and what they can try to improve. And importantly, for a foundational economy and for us is helping businesses work together across the region, collaborate to develop goods and services that they can then supply into the big organisations, mainly public service organisations across South Wales. So I don't want to talk for too long. I was going to quickly touch on the regional circular economy ecosystem that we've created. I did briefly mention earlier, so we've had 191 people take part in CEIC up to the middle of this year. That's 81 organisations across both the Swansea Bay region and the Cardiff Capital region, as you can see there. So we'll switch to some questions so that you've got opportunity to share your thoughts and yeah, ask any questions. Anything in the chat? I can see there might be something in there.
Nothing so far.
Sorry, Gary, it's Diane Brooks. I missed 5 minutes of the first 5 minutes, so I'm just wondering what I missed at the front end, and sincere apologies for that. My laptop was rebooting.
Not to worry at all. You didn't miss a huge amount. I explained that we've described it as the Foundational Economy Innovation Network. The funding has come partly from the Foundational Economy team at Welsh Government, and the aim of the programme is predominantly to develop individuals and in turn their businesses innovation knowledge and skills in order to support what is deemed the foundational economy in Wales. So that is all the businesses that exist that can supply into the large organisations, predominantly public service organisations.
So these organisations can be based outside of Wales, for example, but they're delivering services within Wales.
Well, we can only support people from businesses, organisations within Wales to take part in the programme, but by all means, yes. I mean, you can deliver your goods and services across the UK or across the world. The funding is there primarily to develop the innovation knowledge and skills of businesses and organisations in Wales.
Right, okay. It's a bit of an odd one for me then. So I'm employed by a global company. But we hold numerous Welsh Government contracts or frameworks. But I work in terms of the work I do. Sorry to jump in here, and you know, I realise that people have their hands up, but so part of my remit is to create foundational and circular economy social value sort of schemes and programs, which I do, but we support numerous small to medium-sized enterprises, and some of them with go-to-market really good go-to-market sort of sustainable sort of ideas and solutions. So I wonder if I could bring those in. So being a global, yes, I wonder if that works. Right,
so
okay.
If you're based in Wales, you work in Wales, then you're eligible.
Right, so I live and work in Wales. Okay, okay, fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hand up from Mary, I can see.
Hi, thank you very much. So I'm here representing a network called Boyd Abertawe. It's a sustainable food network for Swansea. And so it's a bit of a weird one, but I'm really interested if any of your cohort want to take forward a food specific focus project, then I would really like to be part of that conversation. So that's kind of what I just kind of raising my hand to sort of say and make that inquiry as well.
Well, what we can do is individuals can take part and develop a project or a clean growth plan for their organisation, and they can invite others to work on the same project or the same plan. In fact, that was what we encouraged within the CAPE programme, where we did encourage groups to work collaboratively on regional plans. So equally, that is more than acceptable. In fact, very supportive of that. So you can join as yourself and then use the programme to develop your plans. If you can bring others in that want to work with you on that, we would be more than happy with that. In fact, we'd encourage it. And we also encourage more than one person from an organisation, whether that be third sector or a business, to come into the programme so that they can work collaboratively. We find that where you get 2 or 3 people from the same business coming into the programme and working on the plan, they get a lot more traction a lot more quickly. Simply, obviously, because of the numbers, but also what we know from learning is we can both listen to a 10-minute or a 5-minute podcast and get completely different things and have different ideas in terms of implementation. And part of the programme is that we very much encourage what we describe as social learning. So you learn from each other as much as you learn from us. And from that dialogue that you have with others, it helps you reflect and think about what you might do, whether what you're thinking is the most appropriate action, or based on feedback and discussions, you might decide to take things in a slightly different direction.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. We've got some more hands up, so just dive in. I think Gary.
Hi, I think Nova was in front of me. Do you want to go first, Nova?
Okay. Nova, did you have a question? Sorry.
If Nova doesn't want to go, I'll jump in. If that's okay then. So I'm not sure if I fully understood, obviously, before I come onto the meeting. Looking at this, it's more of a collaboration, maybe an opportunity for localized supply chain management and potential sales opportunities within the regions. Is a huge opportunity here. We make water tanks for firefighting, potable water stuff. So there's not many in this area. Well, there's none that do the same as us. So we'd be pretty much of a standalone there on that. But obviously there's opportunities then to show potential customers what we do and try and get our names on our list. But I thought it was more going to be based around actual opportunities for maybe GRP, glass reinforced plastic, is something that we make some of the tanks out of. So is there an opportunity to work with somebody, maybe the local incinerator, is there to get energy out of what our scraps are? And then even the ash coming out of that, could that then be used for substrates in asphalt, substrates in concrete products, that type of stuff? So we're reusing everything and nothing at all then is going to landfill and to any recycling, constantly through the chain. we were looking at things like that, or potentially an opportunity to link with a company that could actually use that scrap GRP into their products or something. Is that what this sort of thing supports?
Yeah. So the program primarily exists to support individuals and businesses. So if there's 2 or 3 of you wanted to come in from the business to work on a clean growth plan, so what you've just mentioned, using some either using others' waste or byproducts, or others using your byproduct to develop that as an innovation plan, i.e. a new service or a new product. We can introduce you to the network, the existing network. So that's at the moment 80 predominantly public service organisations from across South Wales. And we will also introduce you to our partners on the programme in RAP, in Welsh Government Innovation Support, in the CCR Challenge Fund, in UKRI, and you'll be able to pitch that idea or new product or service to them. And we can also introduce you, so just in terms of what you were talking about, the guys at Come Environmental down in Nantucket House took part in the previous programme, so we know them well. Obviously, in terms of recycling of equipment in West Wales, they're probably one of the primary understanders of what is on the market, so we can help you help you talk to them. But yes, the primary aim of the programme is to help you develop a new product or service that incorporates circular economy principles.
Okay, well, thank you.
But it's down to you what you want to work on. The programme is not about, it's about helping you develop your innovation, knowledge and skills. In other words, the process of innovation. I'm not trying to tell you to do anything in particular. It's supporting you to develop a clean growth plan or an innovation plan for a new product or service, or to extend your existing products or services across South Wales.
Right. Okay, thank you. Yeah, because we've got quite a few. Sorry, go on, Anthony.
Can I just jump in there as well, Gary? Is lots and lots of the solutions that come out of the CAKE programme, Gary, they're completely different to what go into it. You know, because innovation is something there's 2 elements to it, but the new product or service element, you may not know what is going to be the outcome of this, but what CAKE offers, I think, is a vehicle for you to get to that point, to maybe test something brand new. And that's quite important as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Gary. I think over you back.
Sorry, my hand up.
Right, I've unmuted properly this time instead of just talking, wondering why you're all just looking vaguely at me. When you're talking about there could be more than one person from a group joining, is there a limit to the numbers?
Limit would probably, as long as you don't then start to influence the cohort, but not really.
Okay.
Probably 5 or 6, I'd say, because the maximum we're likely to take on the cohort is 30. Okay. But you can work in a group on your own, or in fact on the CAKE programme, what people from the same organisation often decided to do was work on somebody else's challenge. Simply to understand the product or service that another organisation is delivering gives you insight to then what you can do. And for some people coming in, it's purely about developing an innovation knowledge and skills.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Thank you.
Mm.
Thanks, Nova. Sorry, Diane, you were coming back in with the real hand up.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Gary. It was just to say, so for example, if we've got or we've identified products and services, like you say, that are being manufactured in Wales currently, but they're very embryonic. They're not, they go to market, but in a very small way. But if we can, can we bring those into the fore as well, so that we can look to commercialize or further build on the innovation around that, certainly around clean growth, because at the moment I'm looking at CO2 monitoring and also how we manage, mitigate and monitor our energy consumption. So that's completely, you know, sort of, it's divergent in terms of my, you know, what we do as a business, but it's very much in support of the Foundation and Circular Economy in Wales. And there's definitely 2 programmes I'd love to bring in and talk to the rest of the cohorts about. There's some real moving and shaking going on in Wales at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, what we offer is a process, and then you decide what you would like to look at as part of that process, whether it's developing a product, enhancing or augmenting
your own skills. Yeah, no, great.
Okay.
Fab, fantastic.
I think we got a question from.
Got a hand up, Gary.
Thank you. So yeah, my name's Olga Ty and I work for Foothold Cymru. We're a charity based in Llanelli. We've just received 3 years worth of funding from Esme Fairburn to actually look at Llanelli using sort of a whole town approach, using circular economy principles to actually make Llanelli a zero waste town in Wales. You know, at the very early stages, it's going to be, you know, community led, community developed. But yeah, actually having a process that we can follow to help, I suppose, yeah, develop some of these actions and actually potentially put them into practice at the end would be really, really useful. I mean, does that sound like it fits in to the principles of this project?
It absolutely does, yeah. And we can link you to the, we had a couple of groups from Carmarthenshire County Council take part in CAKE.
Yeah.
We had a group led by Mary Arthur, who's located in Trimsaran, that is doing various things that would interest you, I think. So yeah, absolutely.
Fab. Thank you.
Yeah, and Aldrich, we had the leisure department, and we're building the new village in Llanelli. So to be part of that would be interesting as well.
Okay. Yeah.
The well-being village there.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
We have a question from Kim Talbot in chat. Hi all, is Plan Ed involved at all?
So Plan Ed took part in CAKE. I'm not sure if anyone from Plan Ed is going to take part in the next cohort. Yeah, don't know, but they'd be welcome to. And yeah. Okay, so I can see, yeah, somebody's written the Plan Ed and Bwyd Abertawe are similar, so it'd be useful to connect. We can. Who was it from Bwyd Abertawe? So yeah, we'd be happy to link you to Plan Ed if you don't know anyone there. But yeah. Any other questions or thoughts? James, I see he's written something. Commit to innovate projects for months. Okay, so we'll note that, James. Thanks, James Claypool, saying that he's committed the next few months for anything around electronics manufacturing, and he'd be interested to learn more. So we'll note that one.
The final one is just asking whether the presentation will be shared after this.
Yes, we can do that. So there's a few slides on the end. Let me just share my screen briefly again. I don't want to keep you all longer than we need to, but just to explain, I'm happy to, well, we will share as it is. There's an example, another example that we could have talked through if we had time. So an example of one of the groups on the CAKE programme, who it was Cwmtawdd NHS Trust, a group there looked at some of the waste that they had and looked at cardboard waste particularly. You can see some of the stats there, and what they're now doing is that cardboard is being collected by Elite Paper Solutions in Merthyr. They're repurposing or remanufacturing that cardboard into animal bedding, which is being sold to South Wales Police for the obviously the horses that they've got there down in Bridgend. and that animal bedding is better for both humans and animals because there's less dust, and it's more absorbent, and it saved the health board money. It's increased revenue for Elite Paper Solutions, which employ people both from disadvantaged in terms of their employment prospects and people far from the workplace. And so it saved them money, it's reduced their carbon footprint, and it's employed more people locally. So that basically is the type of project or new service that we would very much like to see. And it encapsulates both circular economy implementation, as you can see from the resultant savings in money and carbon footprint, and employs more people within the region. So that's tacked on the end there. And yeah, we'll share the slides. If you've got any other questions, there's a couple of email addresses on the slides. Fire your questions into any one of those, or drop us a line, and we'll be happy to chat. Jump on a call or a Teams. And I think we've got another Insight event planned for next week. So if you've got colleagues or contacts you think might be interested, by all means share it with them. By all means, come back again next week. I think I'll ask Tony to speak next time. I'm sure you don't want to listen to me again.
Yeah. It's interesting that some of the audience today, well, I've already got meetings set up with them for after this, Gary, anyway, to begin scoping out what their objectives would be joining the programme as well, because that's basically the way we would start this, is have a quick meeting just to try and sound out what your objective would be to come onto the programme. But I've got to warn everybody before we yeah.
I was going to go, my last question was just going to be, what is the process for actually getting on the programme? So is there, so I'm guessing it's a little bit more in, sort of interaction.
Yes, there's an application online. I think is that link in. I don't think that link is on here. I'll put the link in the Q&A bit to the application. It's actually our website, which is CEIC Wales, CEIC Wales, and there's a button over on the right hand side that says apply now.
Right.
I've just dropped that link into the chat for everyone.
Oh, brilliant. And I think we did say it was going to be about an hour, so I'm going to very quickly, as long as people are happy, I'll very quickly share my screen again. And so if you go to the CEIC Wales website, it's ceikwales.org.uk. There's a button here, apply now. But also the reason I wanted to sort of get this up really is firstly to show you the other, I suppose, examples of the solutions that groups and individuals have developed, other interviews with other people from different types of organisations. So as you can see, sorry if I'm scrolling a bit fast, but there's lots of presentations there from people that have taken part in our previous programmes that will give you a fuller idea of the breadth of challenges that have been looked at, and and what the groups have managed to achieve and what they've got from the programme. Okay.
Fabulous.
So CEIC Wales, and there's an apply now button. Okay, so conscious that we've all got busy lives and busy days, and I'm getting hotter and hotter because I had to close the door. Some guy decided to cut his hedge just prior to me coming online, as is always the case. And so, we'll let you go, and please do get in touch if you've got any questions, thoughts. Please share the next Insight event with contacts or colleagues, and hopefully we'll see you on the programme.
Thank you very much, Gary.